This is National Native News. I'm Antonia Gonzalez. Advocates say work is finally beginning in Washington state to address missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. Earlier this year, a bill was signed into law in the state to help identify missing Native American women. Advocate Patricia Whitefoot knows firsthand about the impact on families. Her sister is missing. Whitefoot says for a long time, families have been silently coping with the issue and often receive little assistance or response.
She's been missing and there's not going to be any resolution. And I know I'm not the only one, but there are other family members who have missing family members, and that resolution may never be resolved in your lifetime, but it's one I think that it's important we give voice to that, and we can't allow that our women who've been missing to go unnoticed, and to allow to provide that kind of support that's needed amongst the families.
Carolyn DeFord Eden, also an advocate, says her mother went missing 18 years ago. She says families are often left with many challenges.
I wanted to address the need to break down those jurisdictional challenges, to provide services to families, to give them something to go on. You get a missing persons report number if you're lucky, and that's it. That's it. So there's no direction. You don't know what to do. You don't get a poster. There's no coping or support system in those situations. And so for so many of our families, after a week or so of somebody going missing, the rest of the world goes on business as usual. And for our families who are dealing with ambiguous loss, the world is stopped. And we are right there for a very, very long time.
Both advocates shared their stories with state lawmakers. The bill requires the State Patrol to work with law enforcement, tribes, Native organizations, and the Governor's Office of Indian Affairs on reporting and identifying missing Native women throughout Washington. Whitefoot and DeFord Eden joined other advocates across Indian country this week at the Women Are Sacred Conference in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Many attendees wore red Wednesday in an effort to raise awareness about missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. Last year, Washington State Supreme Court granted the Yakama Nation the right to transport goods and services across state lines without taxation. Attorneys and tribal members called it a landmark case for tribal sovereignty. Now the U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to review it. Emily Schwing reports.
In 2013, Washington's Department of Licensing demanded $3.6 million in taxes and fees from a Yakama Nation fuel company, so the two parties went to court. A member of the Yakama Nation transported fuel across the Oregon-Washington border for sale at the Cougar Den, a gas station on the tribe's reservation. He said a unique travel clause in a treaty signed with the U.S. government in 1855 exempted him from state taxes. Only two other tribal treaties in the Northwest expressly outline the right to travel. This fall, the High Court will consider whether the treaty allows tribal members to avoid state taxes when they transport goods on public highways. 5 other states filed friend-of-the-court briefs in favor of Washington's petition for review. I'm Emily Schwing reporting.
A team at Northern Arizona University was recently awarded more than $2 million by the National Institutes of Health to train Native students and address tribal health and environmental issues. Students across science, technology, engineering, and math fields will conduct 2 years of research on tribal lands, including Navajo, Hopi, and Yavapai Apache. I'm Antonia Gonzalez.
National Native News is produced at the Annenberg National Native Voice Studios by Quantic Broadcast Corporation. Funding is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, with support from the Public Radio Satellite Service.
Support by New Mexico Community Capital, helping make the impossible possible with tools for success for emerging Native American enterprises, including micro-lending available for early-stage Native-owned businesses. Information at neirprogram.org. Support by BNSF Railway, moving our economy for over 165 years. Our vision is to operate injury and accident-free with safety programs, training, and technology. More at bnsf.com/tribal relations.
Native Voice One, the Native American Radio Network.